What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone, everyone, everyone? It is another day, another time, and another week for your favorite Saturday night show, Conversation with Kings, ladies and gentlemen. I got my brothers up in the building with me. I got my brother Charlie. I got my brother Tay. What up, fellas?
What up? What up?
Man, not much, bud. What's going on with y'all?
Not much. Just chilling. Just chilling.
Not
Yeah,
much,
man.
just chilling, just enjoying the day. We here. We opened up our eyes this morning, and we here.
Yeah, for real, for real, for real. So, y'all, we got a great show planned for y'all tonight. We have two of our brothers up in the building. We have Mr. Thomas Cross up in the building, and we have our brother, Mr. Thomas Behrens. Which, if you watched the conversation with Kings on last week, you heard, or the last episode, you heard Thomas Barron. But now we got Thomas Croft up in the building with us, coming, which he is like a brother to us as well, coming from our time where we was all on the Blemish Beauty podcast, roundtable discussion. So we got both of our brothers up in the building. So, ladies and gentlemen, after this brief interlude, what you will see is our brothers, Mr. Thomas Croft, straight from the Big Three Man podcast, the Big Three Man Talk podcast, and Mr. Thomas Barron. So, ladies and gentlemen, after this interlude, our brothers will be on here with us. Let's go. Yo, what up, fellas? What
Hey,
up, fellas?
what's going
What
on?
up? What up?
Not much, not much. We glad to have you back, Thomas Barron, and we glad to have you back, Thomas Croft. We glad to see y'all, fellas.
Hey man, I'm glad to be back, man.
Man,
We gotta
it's
get this
good.
going on. We gotta get this going on.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We've been talking about having you on here for a while, Thomas Club, and we finally made it work, and we got you on here. Our brother Charlie should be back shortly. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we talking? We're gonna introduce our topic on tonight, which is marriage still important in 2024? Is marriage still important in 2024? Is marriage still an option in 2024? So, okay, let's have this conversation real quick. What up to our sister Sarah? How you doing, sis? To our sister Miss Nikki, how you doing, sis? And hey, Ashley. So tonight we're gonna have this conversation real quick. Is marriage still an option in 2024? So first question I want to ask to us on the night is, when I say the word marriage, what do y'all think of? Any one of y'all can answer it.
You want me to go? Okay.
Anybody can answer that.
I'm usually always the first one anyway. All right. When I think of the word marriage, I think of a pretty much it's a bond. It's a bond. It's a lifetime bond between two people. You know, it's a long it's a long term relationship, just like any long term relationship, but it's a sacred long term bond. When you actually get married to somebody, you vow to be with that person for the rest of your life, through thick and thin, through sickness and health, death to your part. You know what I'm saying? For richer or for poor, like it's a grind, and you have to be able to work with that person as a team, because it's a team thing. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I think a lot of people just don't really truly understand what marriage really is all about. So that's my take right there.
Um,
Go ahead.
For me, it's a commitment. It's a challenge, but it's a definitely a commitment. Being married is still something personally that I want in 2024, but you got to know the person that you're marrying. You have to, because I'm a firm believer in that you can learn as you go. But yeah, marriage is very big to me when it comes to a relationship. Yeah.
I feel like who's next?
I'll go. Well, to me, marriage. Well, I never got married before. I'm still under relationships. I would love to get married one day, but to me, marriage it still holds an incredible, value for couples that choose that path for this year. You know, and if they're compatible with each other, and they want to reach a new height in their relationship, maybe they should try to get married. That's what I think about marriage. It's a new part of a relationship that two people want to engage in and see if they could, partner up and accomplish new things together. That's how I feel about that.
I'm with that. I'm with that. All right.
So, by definition, marriage is a legally or formally recognized union. Um, and for me personally, it's a lot being that I am married currently. um, but the most important thing is two things for me. Is one is the very first human institution ever institutionalized by our Father God, and two, it's a covenant between you and another person, somebody that you agree to do your entire life with, not just parts of your life, but every single part of your life. You agree to do that with that person, forever. Now, we know that, that doesn't always pan out, because of things we'll probably get into throughout the parts of this podcast. But for me, it's a union and a covenant, a promise that you made to that person to be with them forever.
I agree with that. I agree with that. For me, marriage is marriage is work. You got to put that work in to get married, and you got to put that work in to stay married because marriage is not going to be easy. Even though I've never been married, I can honestly say from seeing some of my friends that have been, I can honestly say marriage is not going to be easy. But it's not about it being easy. It's about finding somebody that is worth the work that it takes. Because, there for the longest, I said, I want to get married. I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to get married. And these last couple of weeks, I had to check myself on some things and realize, like, yo, in order to be married, you have to come completely as a whole individual. Because what is the point of coming as a broken individual and giving somebody the broken part of you and asking them to make you whole? One of the things that I cannot stand is when somebody says that phrase, this woman or this man is my better half. So what you're basically saying is you wasn't a whole individual before you got married. What you should be saying is, you know what, I was a whole individual, she was a whole individual, and we came together and made one cohesive unit. So what I had to do was ask myself, yo, am I showing up as a completely whole individual for the woman that I'm with? And as I looked at that equation, I was like, no, I'm not. There's still some issues I got to deal with. And what I love about it is the woman that I have has made it clear to me. yo, I'm willing to work through that with you. You ain't doing this by yourself. We in this together. Let's ride it out. So what it is knowing the fact that okay, this person is willing to accept me at my broken level. So it makes me want to show up even more whole for her. So okay, this this comment right here brings up a great next question for that. Agreed. Marriage is not 50-50. It's 100-100. So, all right, let me ask y'all a question, fellas. Do you believe in 50-50 in marriage? Do anybody on here agree with that?
I'm gonna go first on this one.
Mhm.
Absolutely not. There's no 50-50 in marriage. Because if you're giving 50-50 in marriage, that means you're only giving half of your abilities, your responsibilities. Only half of yourself is going into that marriage. If your marriage is not 100-100, it's going to fail. Period. Because one person is going to get worn out if you're not giving your all. If you're not giving your all and she's not giving her all, that marriage will absolutely fail because you're holding back from the person you said that you will be one with. You promise to be one with that person. You promise to love, honor, cherish, and all the good stuff that we like to put into those vows. But if you're not giving 100%, then you're already broken. You're already breaking those vows because it says better or worse. And worse, when worse come, where are you? Where's your mind frame? Where is your physical attraction to that person? Where is your conversation with that person? Where is your thoughts about that person? Where is your comprehension of what that person feels like? If you're not giving 100, I promise you that marriage will not last.
No, it won't. All right, who wants to go next? Do you agree in 50-50 in marriage?
All right, so I'm a kind of go on the record with this because I was married before. You know, I'm divorced, but um, it depends on what are you talking about, what type of 50-50. Because you got to think about this. What Thomas was just saying is true. I truly believe that 100%. You know what I'm saying? That you give 100% of yourself to the marriage. But when a lot of people talk about 50-50, they're mainly talking about as far as like, you know, the roles. And you know how when people say they think about 50-50, you know what I'm saying, they talk about, oh well, um oh, you want, basically like we're both, you know, doing everything, like paying the bills together, oh, splitting everything basically. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't like that 50-50 type deal because they feel like that shit is like some new school shit that, you know, shouldn't happen in a marriage, which in reality, that type of 50-50 actually should, because we're grown. We're both adults. We're both grown. So we definitely should be, you know, doing all that. I mean, as far as like splitting it, you can split it or you can assign. It doesn't matter. As long as y'all both taking care of the same thing with, and not just with finances, you got to think about like with chores, housework, kids, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So it just depends on what type of 50-50. Now, if you talk about like as far as giving how much you give, you know what I'm saying, into the marriage, yes, 100, not 50-50, because you are, just like Thomas is saying, you are giving half, you know what I'm saying? You can't just give half do half-ass shit, you know what I'm saying, to make it work, because it's, you know, it's a teamwork. So I agree with Thomas on that one as far as that type of 50-50, but you know, I was just kind of elaborating a little bit more on the other 50-50. But
Mhm. All right. Anybody else want to jump in on that?
Um, yeah, I would say marriage is 100-100. It's not really 50-50, but at times, I mean, both Thomases explained it pretty much clearly, but It's 100%, 100. If one person is not putting 100%, or they're giving 90 and you're giving out to 10, then it's just not going to work. I was previously married and it was like that. It's been like that. Not saying it was a bad marriage, but it has been like that. But you both have to give your all. You got to put in the effort, and you have to. Love language is a big thing about that too. You gotta learn that. You gotta learn the other person's love language to help them. So yeah.
I agree with that. Anybody else want to jump in? For me, I definitely agree that it's got to be 100, 100. It goes back to what I said. You can't come into a relationship asking for the other person to give 50% and you get 50%. If you get 50 and the other person gets 50, you only getting half. You're not getting a whole person. So, in order to be a whole person and in order to reach your utmost level that God wants you to reach, you got to come into that situation all the way together. Now, in some situations, I would agree with it. Like Thomas said, like if if I come in tired one day and normally I wash the dishes and my wife's like, babe, you ain't got to worry about that tonight. I'll do that tonight. That's okay in my opinion. But like when it comes to 50-50, where it's like I get 50%, you get 50%, no, that ain't cool. It just depends on how you're talking about it. So that brings me to another question that I got for us, fellas. When how how would you explain to your wife that, babe, I just need some time to myself? Because let's be honest, there are gonna be times where when we get married, the woman is just going to you're not wanting to be around that woman 24/7. How would you explain to her, like, babe, I just need some time to myself? It's not you, it's me. I just need a little bit of time to get myself together. Who wants to jump in first?
Um, for me, just be honest, just be straightforward. I would say, like, listen, like I just need a little bit of time myself. Whether it be me taking myself out to eat or going in the room and playing my video game. Just be open, upfront, and honest because we all have a social battery. So whether it be your wife or your best friend, like just let them know. Let them know that you need that space. And that's what helps create a healthy relationship. Understanding that your partner is going to need space and you don't have to be around them 24/7. That's my take on it.
On the real, I will tell her straight up, you know, you can go out and go get your hair and your nails done by yourself. You could be with your friends, you know. I need a little bit of me time, you know. Even if it's me going out just to chill for a minute or, you know, me go get my hair cut or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I just need a little me time, you know, for me to restructure everything, for me to be like, all right, let me get my thought process in check. You know, I'll be straight honest with her. You know, I just need a little break. It's not me going out to go venture to go look at nobody else. You know, because my vision is still with you. You know, I'm just letting you know. I just need a little me time. Do you mind? You know, and she give me that answer, then I'll go reconstruction myself. But you know, you just got to be straight up and be honest with her. You know, like
For
you
sure.
just need some time for yourself.
For sure. Because communication is key. A lot of relationships fail just for the simple fact of lack of communications. Because I'll be real with you, I have a lot of women that are like good friends of mine, just like my sisters, that'll reach out to me, PO, over the simple fact of their man didn't communicate that, like, babe, I just need some little bit of time to myself. And like they think that because but we think that we're just sitting down for a quick second to regroup and so that we don't say the wrong thing. For a woman, they look at that as, oh, he don't want to talk to me. And a lot of times, a lot of great men, a lot of good men mess up great relationships with phenomenal women just for the simple fact of them not wanting to be man enough to tell their woman, yo, babe, I'm going through something right now. Let me deal with what I got to go through. And I promise you, I'm going to come back to you. But just give me a little bit of space so that I can deal with my issues right now. Because communication is very key. Because without communication, your relationship is going to fail. And for us as men, it's hard for us to communicate because for us, we're coming from that society where growing up, we was told that showing your feelings makes you a punk. And women are telling us like, yo, we want you to show your feelings. If we still have that same mindset of, no, I ain't gonna show my feelings because it's been engraved in my head since I was a kid that showing my feelings makes me a punk. So I'm not gonna do that. But we gotta get out of that jacked up mindset so that we don't jack up great relationships with these women.
I mean,
Anybody else want to jump in?
I would say as far as like, explaining that I need space, you know what I'm saying? It's because I mean, it's like I mean, a lot of y'all already touched on it. Like everybody needs space. We all need space, both of us. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't you can't be up under each other all the time. Like what Charlie was saying, we can't be up under each other all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because it goes back to what I was saying on I can't remember what podcast it was. I think it was on Shira's podcast. But anyway, it goes back to that. Like if y'all spend too much time together like that. Oh no, actually, I think it was yours. I don't know. I know I had used you for a reference, James. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, me and James was good friends, and you know, what I'm
Oh
saying you
yeah,
over
yeah,
my
yeah,
crib all
yeah,
the time. You know what I'm saying? You over my crib all the time. I mean, yeah, I love you like a brother, but brother, go home. I mean, after a while, I'm like, dude, go home. You coming around too much. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Right.
It's like I said then, it's the same with marriages and relationships. Y'all have to have some kind of space with each other. Y'all got to have y'all own individual space. You know what I'm saying? It's not to, you know what I'm saying, to cheat. I could put that in, to cheat, no, because that's what a lot of people with insecurities think that is. Oh, you want to get your space because you want to go mess with some other. No, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I need time for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, we all need some time for ourselves. Just like Charlie said, to get our mind right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if we frustrated and stuff. You know, we wanna have some us time so we can, get it, you know what I'm saying, we can, get everything together, you know what I'm saying, take in everything that happened so we can try to come up with a solution. You know what I'm saying? If we need your help, we'll ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know what I'm saying, with me, I'm kind of an introvert. So I'm usually always by myself anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely gonna need some time with myself. I can't be around people all the damn time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was like I would try to, really explain to her like, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? Like we definitely gonna need time for each other. Cause trust me, we take some time to get us our space. We ain't gotta necessarily leave the house. We can be in, you know what I'm saying, either side of her. Like she could be in the room, I could be in the living room, whatever. We take some time to ourselves, then think about it, we're gonna start missing each other. And you know what that happens when you start missing each other. When y'all get back together again, oh, everything's gonna be great. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Everything's gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it.
I feel like certain conversations should be had in the beginning. Like me, I'm the type of person, my social battery dies real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like hour or two, I'm ready to be out. And you lucky if you get 2 hours. Unless I'm around my family, like my blood relatives, I can't really be around people like that. That's just not me. But um, conversations in the beginning, like, all right, it depends on what I need that time for. Me and my wife had to come to an agreement and a comprehension of one another. Like, all right, when I'm pissed off, you got to give me 5-10 minutes. I got to calm down before we have this conversation Because if I don't calm down before we have this conversation, the conversation is going to go way up, as opposed to us having an adult conversation about our disagreement. But if I just need to get my head right, she knows me to this point. But in the beginning, it was like I had to tell her, like, hey, babe, I need like 10, 15 minutes. Like, my head is not in the right space. I don't want to take out my frustrations on you because it has nothing to do with you. Just give me a little bit of time, and then we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Or she knows, like, if it comes time, like Tay said, to jump on the Xbox, I'm like, hey, babe, what you about to do? Oh, you ain't doing nothing? All right, I'm about to jump on the Xbox. You cool with that? And if she cool with that, hey, I'm on the Xbox forever, however long I'm on the Xbox. But it's just like you said, James, it's just about the communication. And it's also about the comprehension, and it's also about understanding one another. Because you will get these females or males, let's be real here, that you'll be like, I need some space. They're like, no, I want to talk right now. Like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. Because if we talk right now, it's gonna go left. And
real quick.
y'all gotta come to some sort of understanding. Like, some people have that right now mentality. My wife is like that. Like, if something happens, she want to talk about it right now. And it's like, nah, we can't do that right now. Because if we do that right now, we're not gonna come to no understanding. We're just gonna get more pissed off at each other. Let's take 5, let's come back, and then we can talk. It has to be some sort of level of communication there, and some eye level. Like, I understand that you need time. Give me the time, and I'll give you yours.
Facts. I like that. I like that because it's important. It's definitely important. So, okay, fellas, this question was sent in to me, and I was told to ask this question. Uh, First part is gonna go to Thomas Barron, and then the rest of us can answer it in another way when I ask it. So, Thomas, the question is, how did you know that your wife was the one?
I'm almost certain I answered this in the last one, but I'll answer it again. First of all, me and my wife were best friends. I'm talking like she knew all my dirt, like all of it. And I'm not gonna go into all my dirt right now, but I wasn't the best person. You can ask Shira. Shira's known me since I was 17 years old. And she'll tell you I'm not the same person I was back then, not even close. But my wife was the person when I was 18, I was in a relationship. And in the midst of that relationship, that girl died in a car accident. My wife was the one that was there for me, even when my family wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It was like, they were like, yo, you need to get over this. And my wife was like, nah, you need to feel your feels. If you need to do this, you do that. If you need to cry, you cry. You need to call me, we can talk about it. And then later on, when I started to pursue her, this was years later, when I started to actually pursue her, there was a point where I was sick. I was very, very sick. And I'm sitting in the house, and like, it was like, can't get out of the bed sick. And if you get out of the bed sick, it was straight to the bathroom and back to the bed. And I'm talking to her and I'm texting her, and she's like, so, no, who's helping you? I'm like, nobody. Now, mind you, I'm in a house full of people. This ain't just me, my mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm in there with, people, nieces, nephews, sister, uncle, everybody's in the house. And she's like, nobody's helping you? Now, mind you, she's in Virginia. I'm in New Jersey. She drives from Virginia to New Jersey that day, not the next day, that day. She got there that night just to simply take care of me. And in my mind, I'm like, this ain't just a friend. This is somebody who will absolutely take care of me if I need it. And I was like, I can't let this one go. I can't. I couldn't let her go at that point. It was like, you really got in your car and drove 4 hours just because I was sick. Yeah, I got to keep this one around for the long run.
Facts. Okay. So the second part of the question goes to us, fellas. The next part of it is, go about how do we know when that we have found the one? How do we know that we have found the one? I'll start it off. For me, I kind of answered that question by what I said in the beginning when I said, this woman has told me, like, babe, I ain't going nowhere. I'm riding with you until the wheels fall off. She told me, you know what, like, we in this together. I'm not going nowhere. You can't get rid of me. Like, you gonna I'm fighting this with you. And when I tell you at that moment, that shifted my whole mindset of what I was thinking, because it was like I haven't never had somebody really rock with me like that. Don't get me wrong, I've rocked with other women like that, but I ain't had nobody really rock with me like that. So it was like the fact that this woman is telling me, like, babe, I ain't going nowhere. I'm riding with you. Like, I'm fighting this with you and we sticking this out. At that moment, I knew, okay, get your act together real quick. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna find yourself losing out on a good one. And then you're gonna be looking on social media one day, see her done got married to some other dude, and you're gonna be saying, yo, woulda, coulda, shouldas at that moment. And my first thought that went through my head was, if I got on social media and I noticed that this girl got married, what would be my first reaction? And my first reaction would have been, dang, I done messed up. Because I ain't never going to find another one like that. So at that moment, and after a swift kick in the rear end from Sarah and Nikki, shout out to both of them, like, I knew at that moment, like, okay, bet. Let me get my act together. And another moment that let me know it was this girl saw me at my lowest. She saw me at a moment when I was at my absolute lowest. And at that moment, she didn't run away from me. She clung to me and told me, like, babe, get out of this pit. Get out of this pit. We're going to get through this together. You not giving up on what you worked on. Let's do this. We riding this out together. And I appreciate her. So that's how I knew that I had found a real one. So whoever else wants to go next.
I mean, I go next. As far as me, how I know I found me a room, it kind of I'm kind of taking off of what both you and Thomas was saying, as far as, like, that ride or die. You know what I'm saying? That person that's gonna literally that's there at your worst, and she ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that's actually gonna be there to help you get out of your funk instead of leaving you when you down, or even kicking you when you down. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she sees that drive in you, she knows the type of person you are. She knows you ain't no bum. She know you ain't no slouch. She know you ain't just some retarded ass dude. You know what I'm saying? She knows that you have that drive and you have that ambition to be a good man. You just need a little help. She's gonna be the one that's gonna help you, even when nobody else will. You know what I'm saying? Like what Thomas was saying, he was in the house full of his family and nobody wanted to help him. But this woman drove 4 hours from a different state to come over there to take care of him. You know what I'm saying? That right there shows exactly what type of woman she really was. You know what I'm saying? That was the one for him, plain and simple. Because if you got a woman that's gonna help you out and stick by you, you know, through your worst, you know what I'm saying, to help you and actually put in the work to help you, that's the one. That is the one. Don't give that one up. Cause just like you said, James, you're gonna be hating life. you will be hating life if you pass up on that.
Oh, for
You
sure.
definitely gonna be
For
hating life.
sure. Oh, for sure. That's what I was doing. Like I was looking at it and I'm like, man, if I let this one go, I'm gonna be kicking myself in the rear end. I'm gonna be mad, and I'll never forget it. Sarah told me, if you mess this up, I'm still gonna be rocking with this girl. Whoopty whoopty whoop. That's still gonna be my home girl, regardless. Like I'm gonna be coming up there and I'm gonna be like, I'm up here seeing my sissy, and I'm gonna be like, dang.
So
So it's like, yeah. Whoever wants to go next.
so for me, and I actually told her this yesterday. So this is crazy about it. For me, how I knew she was the one, she became the color red in a world full of black and white.
Mm,
So what that meant was there's a lot of women out here, beautiful, all different shapes and sizes, but she was the only one that I seen. Like no matter what I was thinking about, she's the one that cares. She's the one that wants to be there. She's the one that I want. She's loving and all these different types of things. So of course, like I said, she's the color red in a world full of black and white.
I like that. I like that. She's a color red in the world full of black and white. I like that. All right, Charlie, it's on you, my brother.
Oh man, this topic right here. I don't know. I found the one. Well, basically, I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story real quick. Um, I was in a hole and I ain't had nobody to turn to, like nobody. And me, respectfully, I don't like putting weight on others. I'm the type that I am a loner, yeah, but I also want to try to find my way out these holes, and I just couldn't find my way out this hole for nothing. So it's like my pride. I just had to swallow it, and I just had to talk to her like, yo, I don't want to bring this to you because I know you dealing with a lot too, you know. And she just stopped me right there and say, yo, whatever you need, if it's words to make you wake up in the morning and smile and to push you to keep working to what you want to where you want to go, I'll help you with that. That stopped my heart right there. Like, whoa, what? Okay, I ain't gonna take no money from you or nothing like that, but I just need a little push. And every morning I was waking up, I was just, getting that rub on my face, and she was speaking positive words to me and that energy, and that was so beautiful to me. I wanted to cry. But no, if you find a woman like that, yo, keep her because they don't come around twice. You know what I mean? So girls that speak positive energy into you and they're willing to help you, keep them. They're not gonna spend the block for you twice.
So, to the person that asked that question, I hope that answered your question. So, all right, next one that I got for y'all. What would you say is, do you believe in setting relationship goals or marriage goals? Because in this clickbait society that we live in, we are constantly seeing the word relationship goals floating around 24/7. Do you believe in setting relationship goals, or do you think that what's more important is making sure that you and your spouse are aligned with each other and not worrying about what other people are doing on like social media and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I'll go first on it. As far as the relationship go, I feel like you should y'all could set relationship goals. I mean, is it because it'll actually give y'all something to strive for, you know what I'm saying, together. But I
Mhm.
wouldn't base my relationship goals on other people's relationships, because that's
Right.
where it's been happening a lot of times, like it is like now. A lot of people, it ain't just women. I mean, it's mainly women, but men do it too.
Mm-hmm.
They want to base their relationship off other people's, you know what I'm saying, off somebody like they freaking family members or they friends, or of course people on the internet, you know what I'm saying, the internet friends, celebrities, you know what I'm saying. Like, no, if y'all gonna come up with goals for y'all relationship or y'all marriage, you know, make it authentic, you know what I'm saying, goals that suits both of y'all in y'all situation. You know what I'm saying? Those goals need to basically, like I said, just need to suit y'all situation, y'all relationship, not based it off nobody else's. Because like, think about it, other people you could be whatever you want on the internet. So other people can be whatever the fuck they want on the internet. They can have the most perfect fucking relationship on the internet. But in real life, it ain't nowhere near as they make it to be on the internet. So don't base, if you're gonna set goals. I'm not saying that you should, that is required, but if you are, I think you should. And if you are, don't base it off nobody else's. You know what I'm saying? Like, sit down, have a conversation. Y'all need to sit down, have a conversation with each other, and be like, hey, look, you know, I want to, let's say if y'all got married at the court, right? All right, baby, look, in 5 years, I want to give you the grand wedding that you deserve. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do it right now, but trust and believe, I will get it to you, and that's my goal. That's my marriage goal to you, to give you the wedding that you deserve. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's between you and her, and reverse, you and him. You know what I'm saying? That's between y'all. You know what I'm saying? You're not basing that off nobody else. You're not saying, oh well, yeah, I'm gonna give you that wedding that my homeboy gave his wife. No, I'm not.
Mm-mm.
No, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm gonna give you the wedding that I feel like you deserve. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do it my way. And we gonna do it. Well, we gonna do it our way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna sit about it, and we're gonna do it our way. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? There could be other goals other than just a wedding, but like, I would say, make it unique and authentic between y'all. That's what I'm saying.
I feel that. I feel that. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'm gonna be real. I don't know what to say. I felt like my name twin dropped the mic on that one. To be
Dude.
honest with you, man.
He really did. That's why all of us got quiet, because you can't
I
do
don't-
it.
Definitely.
I don't think there was nothing else to say after that. I mean, when you see, hashtag couple goals, you always see the celebrity couples, the Instagram couples that, they show their highlight reels, but they won't show you what happens behind closed doors. I mean, a lot of people's couple goals was Will and Jada, but now look, now they done opened up the closet and you see all those bones fall out. They're talking entanglements and they've been separated for 20 years and nobody knew. They thinking this is about an open relationship. Well, there wasn't no relationship. They just live in the same house. Another one people like to, quote unquote couple goals is Martin and Gina. Well, Martin happens to be my favorite show, and Martin and Gina broke up a bunch of times. They had a ton of problems. They had very, very bad communication with each other for a long time. And although it's funny and we love it, I kid you not, it's on my TV right now, sitting on pause, waiting for me to hit play because I was watching it before I jumped in. But they had real bad issues. They broke up twice during the show. Martin didn't even want to propose to her until he was ready. And he felt like he was pushed into it because he knew, like we were talking about before, he was about to lose that good one. So he was basically forced into proposing, not by her, but by his own admission. I don't do the whole couple goals as far as like Thomas said, the internet people, because all you see is the highlight reels. You don't see the abuse that's going on when the camera's turned off. You don't see the arguments and them cussing each other out when they're not recording on TikTok. You don't see the fact that they don't even want to be together, but because their social media is making so much money that they can't separate. Otherwise, they're not going to make any more money. You don't see the stuff that they don't want you to see, that you only see the good times. Like Thomas said, if you want to set goals, set your 5-year, your 10-year, set your vow renewals, set your wedding dates. Those are the goals you need to be setting. Set, hey babe, in 10 years, I want to save up enough to have a house of our own and stop paying rent to these people. Or, in 2 years, 3 years, I want to save up enough money to get us a car that's big enough for our family, because you might have multiple kids and pets to be, traveling around. You might want to go travel out west where you got 3 pets. You can't just leave them with anybody. And if anybody knows anything about boarding pets, it's a lot of money. Or you can't just leave the state and leave your kids at home, because you come back, you going to jail, period. So the goals you need to be setting are goals that mesh between both of you. Like he said, if it's both of y'all goals, then it's a couple goal. If it ain't, then it's your goal or it's her goal, not a couple goal. But I absolutely believe in setting goals, individual goals and goals together, but not of those that you see when you pick up your cell phone.
I agree with that. I think a lot of times, go on ahead, Charlie. My bad. Go on ahead, boy.
What I want to know is, why do people run the social media to look at goals and stuff? They should be looking at people in the churches or family members or peers, because they'll get better advice from them instead of clicking to see, because they don't know what happened on the inside of these people's lives, but you'll know what happened to the person that's you reaching out to in the church or wherever, whatever. It's kind of messed up that we would ignore that. We'll just go on the computer or somewhere just to find that out instead of voicing our opinion to somebody next to us, you know?
I agree with
So
that.
that's all I gotta say about that.
I
It's
agree
just
with
crazy.
that. I think a lot. Okay.
Yeah. So like the whole relationship goals, basically you all said it. Basically, your only relationship goals should be between you and your partner. Don't run the social media looking at TG and Samara's relationship and trying to model it the same way. Don't be looking for the Jay and Beyonce, trying to model your relationship after them. Be your relationship is your relationship, and that's how it should be. Create the goals that you want with your relationship with your partner, and if you can't achieve them 2 to 4 to 5 years, rephrase it, replan it, and try again. That's all I can say about that one.
I feel that. I think sometimes what we do as men is, or as human beings, is we take the word relationship goals and we use it as, or view it as, sometimes what we look at when we see a diamond. When you see that diamond, all you see is a finished product. Same thing with relationship goals. All you're seeing is the finished product. You seeing the marriage, you seeing the big house, you seeing the 2 dogs, you seeing the 5 kids, you seeing all of that, the finished product. But what you're not seeing is that diamond being broken, shaped, molded, torn up, to be formed into what is that beautiful thing that we see. Same thing with relationships. You're not seeing the bad times, the times where they arguing, the times where they don't even want to be around each other. So I definitely agree with that. You gotta definitely make sure that you're basing your relationship goals off of yourself and not what social media does. So I like this. Yes, I agree. Relationship should be private. Genuine said it. It ain't none of their business. LOL. And it's not. Now, but see, here's the thing. There's a difference between being private and secret. And that's where a lot of people mess up. They quick to say, I want my relationship private. But what they're really saying is, I want my relationship secret. No. So I got two more questions for us tonight. And then I got one more question for all of us. And then this last one, I'm going to throw to Thomas Barron, the married man on the show tonight. I'm going to throw it to him. Whatever. So here it is. Do you believe that the institute of marriage is still relevant and meaningful in today's fast-paced and ever-changing society? Do you believe that the institute of marriage is still meaningful in today's fast-paced and ever-moving society? If you ask me, yeah, I still believe that it's meaningful. Because let me be real, with everything that I do in my everyday walk of life, with working my 9 to 5, with being in ministry, with doing these shows, the one thing that I love is when I get off of line, I can turn that computer off and I can go right on that phone and call the woman that I love and just be like at peace and like just be myself. I don't have to be on with her. And it's like I can't wait to make her my wife. I can't wait.
Um, yeah, the same thing. I feel it's very important in this day and age because, like you said, like soon as the computer goes off, soon as the TV goes off, that's the person that I go to. That's the person that I call, that I'm texting, making TikToks with, and like that's my happy place. So, do I see myself marrying her? Yes, I do. I definitely do. And actually, there's a little announcement. It's going to
Oh,
happen sooner than y'all think.
oh,
Um,
come on, bro. Come
like,
on.
uh,
All
yeah,
silky
very,
silky.
very soon.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes. We love it.
but we'll save that for the next episode.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Who
All right,
is up
I'm
next?
gonna go. I'm gonna go next. All right. So, do I think the marriage is relevant? Can be relevant. This day and age, yes. But is it? No. And the reason why I say no is because, like I said at the beginning, people don't know what marriage really is all about. Once they start actually, once they start actually understanding the true meaning of marriage, like it was understood back in the day, then marriage could actually be a lot. Because you got to think about this: the divorce rate is at an all-time high in the civilian world and in the military world. Because I am military. Well, I was military, and Tay was too. So we both know how it is being married in the military. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was married in the military. He wasn't, but I'm pretty sure he knew a lot of soldiers that was. And the divorce rate in the military is high as hell, just like it is here in civilian rate. And the reason is because people get married for the wrong reasons. So they don't take marriage seriously. They don't take the vow seriously. You know what I'm saying? They get married for just for the label of being a husband or being a wife, for the glitz and the glamour, but don't want to put in the work. People today don't have the willpower to actually put in the work to actually do exactly what the vow says. You know what I'm saying? You know, love a person, be with them through sickness through health, death to his part, richer for poor. You know what I'm saying? For better, better or worse. People don't want to do all that because the minute things start going south, they ready for a divorce. You know what I'm saying? Soon as things don't start going their way, they ready for a divorce. You know, I mean, there are some things that would make a divorce imminent. just like two things. But other than that, don't get, any problem. You got to understand, problems are going to arise. It's not how many problems that y'all go through, it's how y'all get through them together. And a lot of people don't understand that either. They're not trying to work problems out. They're not trying to, get through the bad times, because you're gonna have bad times. That's how relationships are. Period. It's not just says marriages, because they're all relationships anyway. You're gonna have a lot of bad times. It's how y'all get through them that will solidify your marriage and solidify your relationship. People today, I'm not saying everybody, but most of the people today, they don't have that willpower. They're not trying to they're not trying to get through anything. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole red flag era now. As soon as they see a red flag, oh, they done. Oh, hell no, I ain't. I mean, you gotta think about this. Look at these older couples that have been married 50, 60 years. You don't think they've been through a whole bunch of hell? You don't think both of them been through hell? You know what I'm saying? It's probably been a hell of a lot of red flags, you know what I'm saying, in their marriage, but they found ways to work through them because that's how much they truly loved each other and how much they truly wanted to make things work. That's the willpower that they had. You know what I'm saying? People nowadays, adults nowadays, they don't have that type of willpower no more. Because you could take somebody my age, maybe a little younger, go talk to a person, go talk to an older couple and ask them, hey, how long y'all, how did y'all stay married for such a long time? And they end up telling them, and then they were like, oh, hey, you actually went through that? You actually accepted that? You actually, oh, I couldn't do that. And that's exactly the reason why you can't you're not ready for marriage, because there's some things that you do have to accept. There's some things you do have to figure out how to work through. You know what I'm saying? You can't just run on the first sign of trouble all the time. So that's my thing. Like I said, if is it relevant in today's society? Yes, but could it be? Yes, but is it? No.
All right. Charlie, Thomas, who's there for next?
I'm gonna piggyback off of what Thomas said, because nowadays people get married for the same reason people want titles in church. They want the title. They want to be able to say, I am this or I am that. Or you have the mindset of my man, my man, my man, my woman, my woman, my woman, my husband, my wife, my husband, my wife. It sounds real good when you say it. But are you willing to go through rock bottom? Are you willing to hold him or her up when you don't have no strength? Are you willing to have those hard conversations when somebody does something wrong? Because my answers to the question is the same as his. Could it be relevant? Absolutely. Is it? No. Because people get married for appearance now. It looks good, but is it? Everybody wants to look good, but nobody wants to do the work to stay good. Because when those bad times come, because they are going to come, marriage goes in circles. That's why your ring is a circle, because your marriage is going to go in those same circles. It's going to be good, a little bit bad, a little bit good, a little bit bad. It's going to go around and around and around and around and around and around. Just thankfully for me, I had good marriages to look at, because my oldest sister, my brother-in-law, been married since I was 7 years old. I'm 38 now. I got to watch people go through hell. I had to watch those times where they wanted to leave each other, and they're like, nah, we can't do that. And it had nothing to do with the kids. It had nothing to do with the house. It had nothing to do with cars and money and all this stuff. We got to get through this together. We got to get through this together. And if you're not willing to get through it together, then you shouldn't be married. People want to be like, They want to be married just for the sake of saying they're married. But they don't want to be married when that ex comes around and want to text you a little bit. Hey, big head. They don't want to be married when they want to go out to the club and be with their single friends. They don't want to be married when they scrolling through Instagram and they see some cheeks that look real good. They don't want to be married when, you know, your significant other's like, I really don't want you following her on Instagram. I don't want you leaving comments under this person's. I don't trust your female friend. What's her name? I think she wants you. We don't want to be married in those instances. Because I'm telling you this from experience. I had to let go some of my female friends because my wife saw things that I never did. And these women will tell you they're uncomfortable with something. Are you willing to step out of your comfort to make her comfortable? Are you willing to do the things that you don't want to do for the sake of your marriage? So can it be relevant? Absolutely. And I think it should be. But in this era of Tinder and Bumble and all these other dating apps and OnlyFans and Instagram and every other social media under the book, I don't think it is relevant right now. Could it make a comeback? Absolutely. But I don't think it will.
I feel like
Hey, that kind of goes back to one of my keys to a successful marriage and relationship: sacrifice. What Thomas was just saying. You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to give up the stuff that you're used to doing or that you like doing for the sake of your relationship or your marriage? Because there's going to be some times that you're going to have to. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make this, if you want to make this work, you're going to have to sacrifice. And that's all a part of sacrificing. So yeah, so when he was saying that, that's why I was like, yeah, it's part of sacrifice. And that goes back to my keys. Like it's sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't willing to sacrifice, then you ain't willing to be in a relationship, plain and simple.
if you're not, you got to make those sacrifices. You have to. Charlie, it's on you. And then I got one more question, and that was sent to us because Thomas pretty much answered the question I was
Yeah, he
going to throw to
did.
him. He answered the question that I was going to throw to him. So we'll go with another question for all of us.
I mean, it goes back to what both Thomases were saying. Well, Thomas right here, like sacrifices. If you're not willing to do that, then you ain't ready for nothing. To tell you the truth, marriage, oh man, it should be an important thing for the year. It should be important to you. To me, marriage is like the conclusion of your life. It's that bar that you reach and you be like, okay, well, this is something new. You know, it's above the relationship level. Let's see if we could do this together. Um, what else can I say about this? Well, they practically said everything. So I'm stumped. I'm stumped on it. Yeah.
I agree with that. But here's what it is it's not like a completion of your life, but what it is an opening of a new chapter. Because what it is a lot of times a lot of people look at marriage as a death sentence to a man. Like, oh man, you dead now. You can't do none of that stuff you used to do. You know what? Yeah, I am dead. I am dead
You're
because I
dead to
don't want to
you.
do that stuff that I used to do. I don't want to do that stuff that I used to do no more because I've said this before and I'll say it again. Any little boy can love a million women, but it takes a grown man to love a real woman 1 million different types of ways. So it's like you gotta make sure that you're putting in that time, that effort, and you're doing the things that you need to do in order to make your woman feel secure, make her feel important. And when she's telling you, like, babe, I ain't feeling comfortable with these female friends that you around, you can't look at it as like, babe, you trying to control me. You trying to control me. You trying to run my life. No, because let me tell you, there's been many times where mine has told me things. And I'm like, and by my it would go in one ear out the other for a quick second. And then it's like, before long, that person would show themselves for what they truly are. And I'm like, dang, she told me that this female was like this. And it's like, I bet. So finally you get to the point to where you get tired of hitting your head up against a brick wall. So you like, you know what? When she telling me certain things, let me just listen. So the last question that I got for you all tonight, because like I said, so we're gonna go with this very last one, and I'm gonna just give it straight to Thomas, and because I think that he has the coming from a married man perspective. I feel like he could give us some advice on this. So give us some advice, Thomas, considering since you are married, I want you to give us some advice concerning marriage. For those of us that are considering it, give us some advice, bro. And then what we're gonna do is we definitely gonna have both of you guys on for a part two. So trust and believe me, y'all coming back, and make sure that you watch the Big Three Man podcast and also No Cap podcast. Just stay tuned to a lot of great things. So we're gonna close it out with Thomas real quick.
What man puts his hand to the plow, it doesn't count the cost. Going into what was considered marriage, I wasn't ready. I thought I was. I got married at a young age, considering what a lot of people consider a young age. I was in my early 20s when I got married. And now, as a almost 40-year-old man, it was the best thing I could have done for myself, because of who I was. I was the dude that had a million female friends. I was the dude that was screwing some of his female friends. I was the dude that would, you know, attempt to conquer as much as I wanted to. And if you go in to a marriage with the same mindset that you were before, you will fail your marriage. To my fellas, go in knowing that you are going to have to change. I had to change a lot. I had to change my mindset. I had to change things that I felt. I had to change the way that I reacted to certain people. I had to change the fact that now she is the most important person in my life. And if you're the type of person where you feel your family is more important than your wife, do not get married, because your wife is going to be the absolute most important thing or important person in your entire life. Not your mother, not your father, not your kids, not your pet, your wife. My brother-in-law told me he told me something really, really wise one day. He asked me a question. He said, "Who do you think is more important to me, your sister or my kids?" And I didn't have an answer for him. He said, "I'm going to tell you your sister, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I can't get another her, but I can make more kids." And it blew my mind, because as much as he loves his children, because I can tell you from that, because I call him my surrogate father, because he basically raised me in my life. As much as he loves his 3 children, he will never pick them over his wife. Because at one day, those kids are leaving, and they're all out now. They're all grown. They're all gone. Those kids will turn their back on you before your wife will. Living proof that I've seen it. If you feel, if she can't be the most important person to you, do not get married. If you are not willing to change the things that are making her uncomfortable, don't get married. If you are not willing to talk to her when she is at her worst, do not get married. If you are not willing to conform and sacrifice those things that you feel you need to hold on to, do not get married. And I'm doing a lot of do not get married because it's a lot less than the reasons to get married. Because when you get married, you are getting a person that is going to be there with you forever. You are getting somebody who's promising to love you forever. You are getting somebody who will stand up for you when nobody else will. You are getting somebody that will pray for you when you're at your best and at your worst. You're getting somebody who will have your back through everything. You are getting somebody who is going to have your children. You are getting somebody who is willing to raise those children alongside with you and be a team. You are willing to do this woman will literally give up her life and body for you. There is no other person that is going to do that for you, because your mother, she gave up her body to get you here, but she will not give up her body to keep you. That woman is going to give up her body to bring in people that are going to love you forever, but your kids will love you with conditions one day. This is a woman who was going to love you for you always. When you find that woman that loves you for you and loves you at your worst, do not let her go. Because if you let her go, you will never, ever, ever find that same exact qualities in another person. It doesn't exist. See, people like to believe in soulmates. I don't. I don't believe in soulmates. Because if you were made for that person, you would never have a problem. There would never be a disagreement. There would never be an argument. There would never be anything to talk about. And I'm sorry to tell you, that's a boring marriage. I don't want to be made for anybody else, but I want to mold to somebody else. We like to call God the potter and us the clay. Well, God had to mold us into clay. Clay doesn't mold itself. When you let God put his hands on you and he does this and he turns you into a person, your marriage is going to be the same way, because you're going to mold each other and you're going to fit one day. And when you fit and that mold comes together and it does this, you will have the best person you could ever have in your life. It doesn't matter what disagreements come. It doesn't matter who tries to throw things at your marriage. It doesn't matter who tries to break it up, because if you mold each other to this, it'll stay together forever. We like to ask the older people how they stay married so long. Work. We don't like jobs. Marriage is work. Marriage is a lifetime of work. Nobody has a perfect marriage. Not a single person. But if you're willing to put work in like you do for that man that you work for or that woman that you work for, you'll flourish forever. But men in particular, go into your marriage. If you get married, go into your marriage knowing that things will change. They have to. Because if they don't change, that means you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. When you stop growing, you start dying. And if you're dying, your marriage will die with you. Marriage is about communication and compromise. Sometimes you have to change one thing. Sometimes she has to change one thing. Sometimes y'all have to work and change things together. But if y'all go in trying to be one-on-one players, it won't happen. Mike didn't win a championship until he had Scottie. Kobe without Shaq, he struggled. It can't be one. Marriage is the only place where 1 + 1 = 1. Because y'all come together and be one. Women, go into your marriage not trying to change who he is. He is the person you fell in love with for a reason. You can't make him a different person. You can make him a better one, but you can't make him a different one. If you're trying to make him a different person, he ain't the one you need to be married. If you're trying to come into your marriage and if you feel the need to treat your husband or your boyfriend like your son, don't get married. Do not get married thinking you need to treat him like a child. Because if you try it, it's not going to work out too well. We don't need mothers, we need partners. We don't need teachers, we need teammates. We need somebody who's going to be there for us when nobody else is. Because as men, we don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of other people we can go to what we do when we vent. We don't have a lot of people to go to. And I believe that's by design. Because as men, we don't want our business in the street. We don't want a bunch of people knowing what we go through. But if you can be there when we go through, we will show you a love that you will never be able to duplicate. And with that, I'm done.
That was powerful. It was true. And I hope our audience was listening. And I know I was definitely listening and taking notes. You know, I made a comment to my significant other that the honeymoon is over. I felt like the honeymoon was over. And, you know, the best part of it is that now that the honeymoon is over, we can get to the real stuff. We don't have to worry about the lovey-dovey stuff no more. We can get to the real stuff. And we appreciate y'all. We will be back in a couple of weeks. And we love y'all. And we will be back with a part 2 for this conversation. All right. Love y'all. Peace.